Season 4 nung unang nabuo ang Onic sa Pilipinas. And it was 10 seasons after, which is Season 14, nakuha nila yung championship na matagal naging mailap sa kanila. And very crucial yung pagkapanalo nila kasi it speaks levels paano manalo at the highest level ng MLBB. Kaya panoorin mo ito hanggang sa huli para may pakita ko sa'yo yung mga tatlong notable factors na sa tingin ko naging crucial kaya nasungkit ng Fnatic Onic Philippines yung kampyonato. Number 1, understanding the winning condition. Sa bawat draft, laging may dahilan bakit yun ang pinili. There is always a strategy for every hero composition na binubuo, and yun yung magdidikta ng timings and power spikes ng isang draft. For example, dito sa crucial Game 7, nag-opt ang Fnatic Onic for a pick-off type lineup kasi kumuha sila ng choke. While for Aurora, the moment may Tigreal and Eve, expect natin teamfight oriented yung magiging draft nila. So, understanding the draft pa lang will give us an idea ano ba yung approach ng bawat kupunan for this game. Dahil pick-off type pang Onic, it's more on the isolations and baits na kung sino mahiwalay sa Aurora, pitas agad. While for Aurora, lagi silang mag-force ng teamfights, especially sa mga objective takings kung saan doon madalas nagkakaroon ng teamfight. So, dito pa lang, may idea na tayo sino lalamang sa early game and objective takings. It's on the side of Aurora. Kaya makikita mo sa first 2 minutes pa lang ng laro na sa Aurora Gaming yung kalamangan. Especially yung pagrekta agad nila sa jungle ni Demon Kite after nilang makuha yung first turtle. It shows na naiintindihan ng Aurora yung winning condition ng draft nila. However, the same mindset yung fina-follow ng Onic na dahil more on pick-off and isolation sila, then they will find ways para makalamang kahit may edge yung draft ng Aurora. Which dito, dahil nakuha yung orange ni King Kong, yung tanging bawi niya is to counter steal. Kaya may kita mo pwesto si Brusco malapit sa purple buff ng Alpha to make sure makapag-buy siya ng time para makapagsulo yung Suyu and para hindi basta-basta makuha ng matiwasay ni Demon Kite yung buff niya. By that time nakuha na ng Alpha yung purple buff, nanakaw na ni King Kong yung orange. Though lugi pa rin siya in terms of levels, but at least hindi siya basta-basta nagagap. Diba? Thus, papasok yung number 2 to make sure makamit ng draft ng Onic yung winning condition, and that is timing. Minsan, akala natin lugi na ang isang team without realizing they're just waiting for the proper timing to execute their winning condition. And yun ang na-establish ng Fnatic Onic kung saan it's in this 7-minute mark nakahanap ng Gempo yung Onic to execute their game plan. Kung saan 2 heroes ng Aurora yung nagpakita sa bottom lane. Thus, kung titingnan mo, yung pestuhan ni Kirk, perfect target yung Eve. Though magkakaroon siya ng kasama in the end, but the mere fact may dalawang kalaban sa baba, it's enough para ma-isolate ng Onic yung the rest ng teammates ng Aurora. And thus, magkakaroon ng teamfight na lalamang ang Onic. Though may kita mo na medyo nakakapalag pa ang Aurora, but that small window na nahiwalay yung dalawang heroes ng Aurora is enough para makapitas yung kupunan ng Sonics. Diba? It's all about proper timing, and mostly yung timings ay kakibat ng power spike. Kaya kahit built ang draft ng Onic sa Pitas Gaming, pero mabilis lang yung power spikes ng heroes nila. And number 3, which ito yung naging factor na nagdikta ng game na ito, which is patience. For this Game 7, Aurora Gaming had the upper hand, like kahit saan mo anggulo tignan, they were winning. It's just that may mga moments na naging impatient sila, while opposite yung nangyari sa Onic, where they were patient enough to understand that their moment will come. All they need is to anticipate that opportunity. And the impatience started in the 15-minute mark. Well, again, in terms of Lord Dance, sobrang halaga na mauna muna hero bago Lord, which yun naman ginawa ng Aurora. However, medyo na-multitask sila kasi not only ginaw nila yung choke, pero may gumugo din sa Lord. Though sabihin na natin andoon yung factor na malakas sila in terms of teamfight, however, pwede kasing marattle yung jungler kung ano ba talaga uunahin niya, yung Lord o hero. Kaya in this moment, I think may ganun na factor na dahil dala-dalawa yung ginagawa ng core, focus sa Lord, tapos hero, kahit napatay yung core ng Onic, ng ka-variable pa, kasi super feeds pa yung nakakuha ng Lord. It's very unfortunate kasi patay na core ng Onic, but the multitasking and then a slight impatience led to this scenario. And after that, medyo na-condition na yung side ng Aurora kung saan isa-isa silang pumasok. Thus, isa-isa rin silang pinagpipitas ng Onic, diba? Though kahit ganon, remember, team fight oriented yung draft ng Aurora. So hindi basta-basta makokontest yun ng Onic. Kaya makikita mo in this scenario, mag-a-attempt na dumaan sa likod si King Kong because Onic knows the only way to win their draft is to pick off. Though hindi na mangyayari yun because of the zone ng Aurora, however, it's all about the patience. In this scenario, mag-a-attempt ang Aurora to go for the GG push kasi nasa taas yung Suyu. And technically, kung gusto mong gawin yung GG push, kailangan lang mahuli yung mga hero or heroes na malaki ang papel sa pag-defend, which dito, Beatrix and Vexana. But for some reason, medyo naging impatient yung Aurora kasi pumasok si Edward and then naglatag ng ultimate yung Eva, pero yung mga damage dealers and yung setter hindi pa nakapwesto. And together with the variable na naka-flow yung minions sa top lane na in favor sa Onic, it resulted in a hesitation kung ano ba talaga yung gagawin ng Aurora. And that slight hesitation was enough para ma-maximize ng Onic yung advantage nila, and the rest was history. Swak yung analysis. Though labanan na ito ng who wants it more, but at the end of the day, it's all about understanding how to win and where is the location of that winning condition. And for Onic, they just found the moment kung saan sila lalamang. Last na video ko muna ito for now, di tayo magpapahinga. Meron muna tayong uunahin na ibang bagay pero I'll be back. I don't know when, pero hoping before M6 may ma-upload ako. Check mo tong video na ito baka di mo pa nakita yung analysis ko sa M5 Grand Finals na may mga factors din na related sa game na ito para mabigyan ka ng idea how the MLBB at the highest level is won. Comment your thoughts below. Pakinggan natin yung mga yan. Thank you. On my place. Let's go.